It is amazing to me that we still get snide references to the John Birch Society, especially when we're proven correct. This includes the so-called conservative pundits, with another sideswipe at us from a very prominent pundit this last week. Most of the conservative commentators have noticed that Biden mentioned that the United States has to lead the New World Order, as we reported last week. Even so, YouTube finally put a disclaimer that the idea of the New World Order being a conspiracy theory at the front of the link to our video. They apparently don't believe Biden either. We've been under attack by all manner of people, from the hardcore communists to the weak-kneed, so-called responsible conservative leaders for decades. Yet through it all, we've proven ourselves right over and over again. The New World Order idea being only one such case. We exposed the world conspiracy for the New World Order back in the 1960s. Some conservatives are now bragging that they exposed it back in the 1990s. We had 30 years on them. We exposed that the very term and what it meant is a communist term used by Marx and Engels before they wrote the Communist Manifesto. And it is this kind of exposure that's gotten us in trouble ever since Robert Welch formed this organization. And you, our members, can be proud of this record. There has been a reluctance to talk about conspiracy because of the main thrust of the attacks against us and anyone who responsibly exposes the plans, and especially the people involved in this conspiracy, come under attack for doing so. It is not simply a matter of the exposure, which is harmful enough to those who would impose this one-world government on the globe. The real reason is that if the element of conspiracy is left out of the equation and evaluation of just what is going on, the prognosticator never hits the bullseye, the reality of just what is happening. What we are saying is that without the knowledge of the conspiratorial aspect of events and the people involved, you can't organize a direct attack that would effectively disable the enemies of freedom. This has been a problem since the roots of the conspiracy were founded. In the book by Abbe Barwell, Memoirs Illustrating the History of Jacobinism in the late 1700s, he stated that the reason the French Revolution was successful in overthrowing the French monarchy was that the people in authority never realized that they were dealing with a conspiracy, one of whose tactics was the infiltration of their enemy to the point of rendering them ineffective in fighting what was happening to them. It is the same today. You have to watch your back as much as you do what's going on in front of you. We are not dealing with the various treasons that pundits tell their audiences that the problems are ignorance, stupidity, mistakes, etc. The various moves made by the people in power are deliberate. It is not incompetence, stupidity, ignorance, etc. It is only made to look that way. The delays in making things happen when the solution is obvious is a major means to make it seem as if it isn't conspiratorial. The delays in investigating the 2020 election, the delays in investigating and prosecuting the attacks against Trump with the phony idea he was a Russian asset, the delays in sending aid to Ukraine, etc. Delays. We're working on it. The so-called stupidity of the withdrawal from Afghanistan, the shutting down of oil pipelines, oil exploration, etc., are all part of a plan made to look like incompetence when they are by design. This is why I wrote this book, Benedict Biden, to provide the plan for the reader to understand the blueprint for a new world order, and that Biden has been part of it since a young man. Think like a criminal when you're trying to figure out the enemy's next moves. Think in terms of conspiracy. How would I do things if I were the conspirator in charge? We try to think in this manner so we can figure out just what's going on. And then, as a result, we are better able to better ferret out the information to prove the case. This is why the other side does everything it can to belittle the John Birch Society. They do so that people will not listen to us and especially not get involved with us. We've been able to overcome much of this and continue to grow as a result, with enough successes over the years to slow them down from their timetable. It takes a little sacrifice to be involved in this fight in America today. It is better than the sacrifice that people are taking in the Ukraine or anywhere else that it gets to the point of violence. I would much rather aim a book at someone rather than get to the point where we have to use a bullet, as the people of Ukraine are doing. Books and other means helps us spread understanding, which translates into the correct decisions made by the voter before it's too late. All of us need to provide the understanding through such tools as this to inform our fellow Americans as to just what is going on, and then joining with us in a concerted action to save our republic.